Hi, my name is Tameeka Krebs, and I'm a Black woman from New Haven, Connecticut, now living in Houston, Texas. I had a very interesting undergraduate career. I went to three schools in 4 years. I do not recommend it, but I started off at the University of New Haven. Coming out of high school, I didn't have the strongest test scores, and I just thought that New Haven was the best city, and there was really no reason to leave home. So I went to the University of New Haven, which is a small private school. I had chosen my major by I really thought I wanted to go into forensic science until I saw the curriculum and I saw there was a ton of chemistry and calculus needed. It kind of scared me, so I did not choose that major. And I looked over at the table next to me, and it was the business table. And I don't recommend anyone choose their major like this, but I stopped to think, with forensic science, could I see myself working in this field for the next 20 years, next 30 years? And my answer was no, but I could see myself being a businesswoman over the next 20 or 30 years. Um, so that was one of the criteria in me picking my major. However, I have a slightly different view of things now. I believe that whatever your major is and wherever you start your career doesn't necessarily mean that that is where you need to end your career. I have remained in business and I absolutely love it. However, that doesn't mean that you can't continue to grow and evolve and have several careers over the course of your life. So at the University of New Haven, I was a business student, and about after a year and a half, I realized that college wasn't as difficult as I had thought it would be. I was on the dean's list, and I really started to open my mind in terms of leaving home, seeing different parts of the country. I had joined NESB, and through NESB, I had met people from different colleges, HBCUs, historically black colleges, and universities. I really loved that concept. So I started looking at HBCUs in the DC and Maryland area. So after about a year and a half, my second semester, sophomore semester, I went down and began attending Morgan State University. Go Bears. I love the Bears. And I absolutely had a great time there. And while there, I continued, being in NESB. I continued working on really my academics, really working hard. I was in the honors program at that point, and had the opportunity to interview with Morgan Stanley, which was a huge, which was a huge benefit to my career. I had done inroads, which really helped me network. I had participated in the honors college, like I mentioned, and working two jobs, right? And I really loved being a bear at Morgan State. However, I did not have the money and the funding to remain there, and that was a factor as well when I left the University of New Haven. I just didn't have the funding, and my parents couldn't sign for me. My aunt was helping me out, but funding was an issue. So I was offered a scholarship, a $10,000 scholarship, through the Morgan Stanley's Richard B. Fisher program. And it allowed me to pay off some of my student loans and also pay for my final year of college. But in order for me to graduate on time, because Morgan State required a few more credits, as well as be able to afford the schooling, I ended up transferring to a public school in New Haven, Connecticut, for my final year. So yes, three schools in 4 years. I don't recommend it, but funding was a concern, and I know it's a concern for a lot of students of color. And I was just mindful and cognizant of not taking out too many student loans as I progressed through my collegiate career. So I was a finance student undergrad. I recently, as of last December, completed my MBA with a concentration in energy finance. But why I really love the finance degree was, in business degrees overall, is I didn't know it at the time, but you have the ability to make a substantial amount of money, a decent salary, without having a master's degree. You don't necessarily need your MBA in order to move up and progress in within the business arena for the most part. There are some companies that will require it, but for the most part, I've seen engineering and finance, or engineering and business, really allow for you to progress with just a bachelor's degree. And I don't want to say just the bachelor's degree because I worked pretty hard for it, but you don't necessarily need to have a master's degree in order to have a pretty successful career. Some of the courses that I really loved accounting. Accounting was a ton of fun. Um, it was painful at times because it really is a puzzle, and you're looking to, sometimes see where you made a mistake, and it does take patience, but it's rewarding in the end. Obviously, the finance classes, I really enjoyed. Statistics was not on my fun things to do, and I took a class or two of statistics, but um, it was not my favorite, one of my favorite courses. But my recommendation to anyone looking to get into business or be a business major of any sort, I would say stay active, continue to network. There's tons of programs. I'm an enroader, a proud enroader. I love the Enroads program. But there's others out there as well. You have Enroads, you have NESB, you have NABA, you have just a ton. I'm pretty sure I'm missing a few of them, but make sure that you are doing your internships over the summers, because those truly will help you find a job, and after graduation. And that's pretty much the route that I took. So best of luck. I hope you have, yeah, I hope nothing but the best for all of you, and good luck.